Welcome to another epic match of StarCraft. We have got firebathero versus Bisu. Now this is going to be a good match just because of the rivalry between these two players. There's a lot of bad blood, a lot of history between them. As we see, firebathero's won 3 times, Bisu's won 7 times. But both of these guys kind of compete for the title of the person who demolished Savior. If you've seen that awesome match, firebathero versus Savior, it's probably an hour-long match where firebathero just does a massive upset, absolutely kills Savior in about an hour-long match. There was like a million irradiates going off in that match. It was definitely epic to watch. But Bisu also being the one to trounce Savior, probably more in a spectacular way, beating him in an MSL or OSL final, I can't remember which one. But Bisu's use of Dark Templars and Corsairs definitely upset Saviour's build, and after that match, Savior, who was the best player at the time, just never recovered. So both these players kind of fighting over the title of who best denounced Savior, but also a lot of rivalry between the players. They just don't like each other, because there's been a lot of, I think it was in the MSL, where people got to pick what brackets, people kind of got pick who was in the bracket. A lot of the time Bisu would pick firebathero so it would eliminate him, but then one season firebathero just turned it around and he got to pick first, and he picked Bisu for his group, just showing how big firebathero's balls were, and he put himself into all Protoss group, because a lot of people say firebathero was not very good against Protoss. And I remember that series just because it was so baller. He did win the first round against Bisu, but ended up losing the second round against him and didn't go through in his group. So Bisu overall being the better player. Both these guys are rivals, and I expect to see some possible dirty play here going on. In the past, there's a lot of the times where Bisu has stolen firebathero's gas. And a few times firebathero tried to recover by like doing an academy expansion, but it just did not work. So I wouldn't be surprised if Bisu tries to steal firebathero's expansion. I would love to see firebathero do some cheese here, just try and take him down quickly. I really want firebathero to win. Ace, this is the second match. Ace is already down 1 game, so they need this to have a chance. At the start of the season, Ace was doing alright. They weren't on the bottom of the table, but now they are on the bottom of the table. As this match gets to start, we have got firebathero spawning in the bottom corner and Bisu in the Protoss spawning in the top. Oh, I'm so excited about this game. The epic rivalry is on. And maybe it's just me being Australian. A few people have commented, oh, yeah, Australian commentator. I don't know how they picked it, because Australians don't have accents. It's just the rest of the world that has accents. But, yes, as an Australian, we just firmly believe in the underdog. So that's why I'm going for firebathero. That's why I am supporting Team Ace. We want the underdogs to overcome. It's just the Australian way of life. So Bisu at the top there doing nothing but mining at the moment, and firebathero in the bottom corner doing exactly the same. As the first pylon goes down for Bisu, and I assume the first supply depot would be going down for firebathero. I'd love to see firebathero plant 2 Raxes in the middle of the map and just go rush him, but it does not look like that as happening. As you get the signs there saying, go firebathero, I believe in you, you can do it. Both these guys are veteran players that have been around the scene for a long time, although Bisu's record is a lot better than firebathero's. And it's funny how now that we only have like 1 Star League, that like I really appreciate it. Back when there was like the Star League and the OSL and the MSL, there was just too much content, I didn't watch it all, but now I find myself like really wanting the games to come out, and like I get excited the day or two before the games come out. So having less content has actually made it more exciting, which is a bit of a shame, because I'd love to see an MSL even though it's cancelled, but I think the OSL comes back in May, as we see some fangirls there obviously cheering for firebathero as he gets his barracks up at the down ramp of his base. Now with these ramps where you have to go up to your expansion, players do tend to be a bit more aggressive with their strategies because they don't want to be trapped inside their base. As Bisu sends out his first probe, he's going to get the scouting jump on firebathero, possibly going to steal his gas. We'll see what happens. No, the probe just harassing the barracks there. Just going to force firebathero to pull an SCV off, as the other Protoss player, Best, I think that's Best there, looks on. As the supply depot goes down there, so getting up his little wall there in case the Zealots try to rush in. The Marines can run between that gap there, as the first Marine is getting produced there, and the gas going down there for firebathero, so no gas steal there, but some interesting repairing happening here as that probe almost takes down an SCV. and Bisu just playing as mean as he can here because of the bad blood between these players. First Marine out, probably going to usher that probe away, but it looks like on the minimap, possibly something. No, firebathero is just scouting himself, but obviously scouting in the wrong direction as Bisu's bowl cut just looms ominously there. And 2 Marines out the front, they're going to be stopping Bisu from seeing what happened, but a Zealot coming in. The Zealot probe can probably take on these 2 Marines. As the probe gets ushered away, firebathero is deciding to 1 rack expand, which is going to be standard. He's not going to try an early aggression strategy or a 2-fac here. As the Zealot comes in, and the Zealot probe taking on the 2 Marines. Marines forced to run away. SCV coming in to block as more SCVs come off here, so they're going to hide behind that wall, forcing the Zealot back. 2 Marines out, 4 SCVs to block, so a bit of early aggression. They're going to go away as he puts a bunker down at the front door. Firebathero is not taking any chances here. He knows Bisu can be aggressive. He knows Bisu can be a thorn in his side, so bunker going down as we've got the 2 Zealots coming in here, but bunker's not going to be up in time. The 2 Zealots come down, trying to take the Marines, and the Marines, 1 goes down, 1 Zealot going down as well as the Marines. Another one gets down, 2, and that's 2 Marines just getting chopped there. 3 Marines going down, and the 4th one goes down there. So firebathero, that 1 Zealot just uber poning firebathero's all army, just walking straight past the SCV blockers, but finally getting taken down. The Marine's going to make it into that bunker, and that possibly will stop this rush. No, another Zealot coming in there, walking past, copping a bit of damage, but Marine's going to come out of the bunker there. It looks like that command center is going to go up there. A bit of harassment going down as that... Now that Zealot's still got a bit of health left, but the factory should be up soon to usher that away. It's not too much of a big deal. It's not like a 2-gate rush. It's probably just 1 gate. So firebathero can deal with his pressure, but the pressure has been put on him early as Bisu takes his own expansion after doing some killing of himself there as the goon just blocks the scout there. Finally that Zealot going down there. So Bisu with some early aggression, just being annoying to firebathero, which early aggression is good. It just gives you the mental edge. I mean, these players probably train for, you know, not being intimidated psychologically. But to me, as I see it, if you get the early aggression, if you get the harassment, you have the mental edge in the game. And you, in this game, you just want to get a small advantage, and you turn that small advantage into bigger and bigger advantages until you eventually win the game. So Marine going in the bunker there, Barracks floating over to build his front door there in case some goon pressure comes, as the 2 factories go up for firebathero. So both players expanding, both players taking up. Robotics facility coming down, possibly for some observers to deal with the vultures, depending on which tech firebathero goes for. First, we see the probes transfer into the expansion there, slightly late on the timing, but you know, he's still a pro. As you see the goons there attacking the barracks instead of the bunker there, which doesn't usually happen that much, but I guess it's just a position, and 2 SCVs coming off to repair. And from what I've discovered, I think you need 1 SCV for 1 goon attacking. I think that is the formula of defending repair. And if you saw the last game I casted firebathero versus Deer there, firebathero almost lost his bunker at the front. It was so close to losing it. As we see, Reaver's now coming up for Bisu, so probably going to get some Shuttle Reaver going to try and harass some probes as another scout gets warded away, but firebathero is going to see Bisu's expansion, and no, it's not going to be super quick tech as the goons just still pound at the front door. So the first tank out there hasn't gone for vultures, he's just gone for a tank to defend his front door, and the eBay coming up now. And the eBay is always a good response. If you don't know what tech your opponent's got, like firebathero doesn't know, the eBay kind of defends against Dark Templar and Shuttle Reaver, so that is the building you want to build. He might get his academy down soon as well if he fears Dark Templars, but the turrets should cover that. So still 1 gate up for Bisu. He's gone more for a tech build at the start here, looking for the Reaver harassment there, and with that build, all you want to do is kill probes. You don't care about the army, you just want to put them economically behind while you get your economy up as yourself. As we see some turrets going down there, 1 turret at the front, 1 turret at the side, and hopefully if he can get a ring of turrets up, he can stop this shuttle from coming, but I don't know how crazy he's going to go with the turrets. A lot of players don't want to overspend in the turrets, aka Flash, who cancelled his turrets and lost to Deer. Deer beating Flash and Deer beating firebathero the other day, so beating the 2 best Terran players ever to Deer. Okay, Flash isn't one of the best Terran players ever, but in my mind he always will be. So Shuttle coming in now, so we're going to see our first harassment of the match here. How many SCVs is he going to kill? And the idea of the strategy is to either kill SCVs or just keep firebathero in his base. It can still be successful even if he doesn't get SCVs, but he just keeps firebathero back, keeping him defensive. And we saw the last game, firebathero versus Deer. He was content to sit in his base the whole game, but that shuttle's going to get hit by the turret there, seeing there's not many good places to drop there. As as he drops the Zealot first to absorb the tank hit. And Reaver Scarab going in, but nothing really going. Another Scarab going in, taking out, hitting the turret there. And if I was the Korean commentators right now, I'd just be going, Reaver, 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 Reaver. But I'm not, I'm commentating in English as he takes down 2 SCVs there. So decent harassment going down there, but all in all, it's defended quite well. But it is keeping him back in his base there, as Bisu just sets up his base against the Vulture defense there. But finally, firebathero playing aggressively. He's not going to be warned off by the Shadow. He's going to expand himself there, trying to take his third base there up on his little ring. As we see the little refinery just burning there, as the observers, I don't know what they're looking at the moment. It's just been stuck on firebathero's base there. He's just taking a break. So firebathero getting his second gas up, and his tanks are out. As we see the Reaver just trying to take out these turrets here, just trying to keep him, just keep his Reaver access going down, as it takes out another far turret there. But this is, I don't know, it's more just harassment. It's not that consequential. I mean, he does open himself up to future Reaver runs, but it's not that 100%. He needs to be taking out a high volume of SCVs. But firebathero with a decent army of tanks now, and you can just see if he pushes early, because last game, Stargate going up there for Bisu. So it looks like, I'd probably say the Reaver build usually does suggest he's transitioning into carriers, because I haven't seen his Templar tech up. So turret going down, they're building a turret under the shuttle, and it's just going to be taken out. Tanks run in, but they run away there. So just a bit of harassment going down there, but this is more delay tactics for a bit to get his carriers up there, and just a nice annoying pylon there by Bisu. He wants to know exactly where firebathero wants to expand. They're going to be annoying, going to force firebathero out of his base, which is kind of, which to me I think is a good thing, because the last game, firebathero versus Deer on this map, firebathero was way too defensive, just sat in his base the whole game. So firebathero pushing out now to get that little position in front of his base where he can defend all 3 of his bases. But if he wants to win this game, he can't just sit up and tech. Yes, it is definitely carriers. It's going to be, it's a 3-base carrier there, as that expansion just gets pushed back there by Bisu. But looks like the army is coming in here, so firebathero finally getting his first engagement there. It's going to force the goons to retreat. So Bisu just delaying that expansion a little bit more while he gets his own carriers up now. And if firebathero scans this, he should attack, because there's a small window where the Protoss is tech transitioning the carriers, where you can when you can attack. They've invested a lot of money in this, the investment hasn't paid off. So if firebathero scans this, he should attack, and I really hope he plays a bit more aggressively, unlike his last game. As we see the goons coming out there, so Bisu working on a bit of a ground army to defend against his upcoming air army. And I don't know how good carriers will be on this map. Seeing carriers are really good on maps with lots of lines and that, because you can just retreat away from the ground units. This map doesn't have that many ridges. I mean, it's around their base. You could, I guess, harass from the natural to the main, but not as good as some of the other maps in the past, like Katrina, as Bisu expands in the 4th corner there. So expanding like a boss. Bisu definitely having the map control in this game with the shuttle harassment, with his army positioning. firebathero content to sit in his base again, which I'm not sure if this is the right move. As a Terran, you do want to keep your army in a bit of a ball, but it didn't work for him last game. So please, firebathero, play more aggressively, because I want you to beat your rival. As we see more factories going up there for firebathero. I guess that's what that second SCV is doing there. Still have 1 tank in his base to defend against the Shuttle Reaver. 1 Goliath out there, but as soon as he scouts at carriers, he's going to be transitioning into more Goliaths. As we see the verse Vultures out there, so they're going to be dropping mines and just generally being annoying. That is the job of the Vulture, as that 1 probe there, scouting probe, I don't know what it is scouting, but goes around the map. So again, more factories coming up. And 1 probe getting taken out there, randomly walking across the map. No, it's the probe transfer, and the other probes running away there. So firebathero a bit unlucky not being able to scout those probes. And there is some luck element involved in StarCraft. I'm not saying it is a 100% strategy game, but if you're a good player, you can scout and get rid of the luck factor. So getting 1 more SCV there, but the probe transfer looks like he's going to make it. The probe's getting their little escort there as they go into the protected base, as 1 goon there dies to the mine. So first carrier out now, and he's got 3 gates, so he's going to be really transitioning into this carrier build. And firebathero needs to push now, but I don't know if he has scouted it. Again, firebathero just waiting in that front position, and you can't do that when the Protoss is out expanding you. So here we have some vultures just getting pushed away by the goons there. So Firebat Hero not doing very well with his vulture harassment, and that was the same for him last game. The Protoss are very good at defending against vulture harassments. There's one player that's bad against defending against vulture harassment. It's Stats. He lost the game completely due to vulture harassment in a 40-minute game. I think that was Stats versus Fantasy. That was a while ago, but I still quote that game because it was just shows you how good vultures are and how you definitely need to defend against them as a Protoss player. So some Zealots coming out there for Bisu, and the Zealots usually mean that the Protoss player is keen to take down some of the enemy tanks there. As you see, the carrier fleet is just starting to emerge, and yes, Firebat Hero is starting to push out, taking down one goon there. So I don't know whether he's scouting this or he just feels like it's time to push. But Firebat Hero going out, I think he might have scouted it just judging by the number of Goliaths in his army there. The Firebat Hero taking the middle of the map, but he needs to push a lot quicker to try and take down a base of Bisu, but we'll see what happens. Bisu's ground army now coming out, and I couldn't think the carriers will be too far off of this ground army. So carriers going there to harass that base there, but yes, he must have scouted with the amount of turrets that have gone up there. So turrets versus the carriers at the moment, and then those turrets aren't going to hold those carriers off forever. But those carriers don't look fully upgraded yet. There's not that many interceptors out, as we see. The first battle coming in, some more goons coming in there, but they're just going to be walking into stage up tanks, and they just absolutely melt to those tanks, as we see those carriers being pushed away for the Goliaths. So far Firebat Hero's doing the right thing. He's advanced in the middle, he's pushed back those carriers, and things aren't looking too bad for him. But I'd say it's probably even at this stage. Protoss player probably slightly ahead on bases, slightly ahead on map control, as Firebat Hero takes some more harassment there. His army is just out of position at the moment. Terran army is quite slow, except for the vultures, which are coming around the other way. But it looks like he's going to pin this army in there. Those goons have nowhere to retreat as the Goliaths and tanks come in. So those goons just absolutely melting. Carrier's doing a good job at harassing that expansion, taking down a number of SCVs here. But I think Firebat Hero has outnumbered Bisu here, and it looks like his ground army is going to go down there. The carriers acting as support, otherwise they would have retreated earlier, but finally carriers retreating. So Bisu taking out a large number of Firebat Hero's army there. So the first victory going there to Firebat Hero. I mean, Bisu taking out some of the economy, but victory to Bisu. But now, I don't know if his number of Goliaths is sufficient enough to defend his tanks, but it looks like it is. Those Goliaths are warding off those carriers, and that's the one thing you want to do as a Terran player, not have too many Goliaths where your tanks just get killed to carriers, as we see some Dark Templars coming out there. So Bisu, that's probably Bisu's unit, like his signature unit, the Dark Templar. Fantasy has the Vulture. Boxer has the dropship. I'd say Bisu's is the Dark Templar. A few Dark Templars going out there, just force Firebat Hero to use his scan. And Firebat Hero in a good position at the moment. He limited most of Bisu's ground army, and he is going to push this. So not much of a ground army there. A bit of a carrier fleet going, and Firebat Hero is marching up the map, although these troops are going towards his base. So which ways is Firebat Hero going to defend, or is he going to push in? And Firebat Hero taking out the carriers there. There's a bit of a ground army there, but these tanks should siege up and force back the goons pretty soon. That carrier fleet does look quite strong now. It's hard to tell what's happening with all these mess on the screen, but it looks like Firebat Hero is targeting the interceptors, just trying to get them down so the attack power is lessened as his little expansion tries to get harassed, but he is repairing it at the moment. So two battles going at once there as the tanks take down the barriers. And Firebat Hero actually in a good position if he can hold this position, and looks like that is going to get cleaned up. So Firebat Hero defending while simultaneously winning his attack, and a massive amount of Dark Templars coming out there. Bisu using his favourite unit. Scan going off there, so it looks like they are going to go down. So Firebat Hero in a good position, but is he going to be able to defend this? And I don't know, he has a sufficient number of Goliaths there. He is shelling Bisu's base at the moment, taking down some probes. If he can take down that Nexus, he might earn himself a small advantage here. But I think the number of carriers is too great. There are not that many Goliaths on the battle there. And Firebat Hero forced to retreat. No! So Firebat Hero doing alright in the first battle, pushing forward, getting really close, but not being able to take down a base, forced to retreat, just not having that critical number of Goliaths there. He lost too many Goliaths in that battle, could not ward off the carriers, and now he is getting chased away. So I'd say at the moment the match is back to even, although Bisu probably slightly ahead, because I can't see on the left there, but it looks like he's taken another base there, as we see the vultures trying to go for harassment but not. firebathero thinking about taking another base in the bottom corner there, as the fleet of carriers looks absolutely massive at the moment. So the Goliaths coming in there, and at the moment they are just targeting the carrier themselves, not worrying about the interceptors. Gets one carrier down, and that does look like a critical mass of Goliaths there, but they're going to target some interceptors there, but the carriers are going to retreat. And no, they're coming back in for an attack there, just hovering over the ridge there, which is what you don't want to do with carriers. You don't want to send them openly into battle. You want to hide them behind ridges, keep retreating with them, make sure you have as less target with them as possible. So Bisu is expanding another time. It's 5 bases versus 3, but that one is not mining yet. But very soon, Bisu is going to be ahead economically, as that little vulture there takes down that probe that was just exiting from that base. I don't know why, but looks like a probe transfer coming in to that new Nexus. So Bisu taking an economic edge in this game. Battle for map control in the middle of the map. We've got the ground army going in against both armies. The carriers, the Goliaths just trying to hunt down the carriers there. There's only a few Dragoons left, just getting eaten by the tanks there. But only 4 Goliaths. firebathero definitely needs to work more on his Goliath count, because you need a lot more Goliaths than that to take down that carrier fleet. So I don't know where firebathero's reinforcements are, but he's going to need more Goliaths if he wants to win this game. So firebathero still on 3 bases. This game he is doing a lot more venturing out of his base, which is what we need to see. He needs to take down some of those bases, as we see a fleet of Goliaths there, but it couldn't be maybe more than 2 or 3 more Goliaths than the amount of carriers there, so I don't think that's a sufficient fleet of Goliaths. And I'm going to say that Bisu has the advantage in this game, as he gets his 5th base up, and has the bigger army. So Dark Templar just taking a hit by a mine there, accompanying his army, as we see the small skeleton crew of Goliaths there. And they're going to take out that door, preventing the ground army going into that base. They're going to take out possibly the comsat there, get some harass on those SUVs as the Goliaths ward them off. Now these positions of this map probably favour Bisu. He's just been able to harass that base for the whole game, but Bisu hasn't taken it down. That's the main thing. firebathero has done enough defending, as we've got some tanks over here finally taking out that expansion. So firebathero finally getting some counter harassment in, while his opponent's army is in this spot, because the carrier army is not very mobile. They're trying to take down that base there. Dark Templar coming in to fend that off, but I don't know, to me that carrier army just looks too big to defend. And more tanks coming out here for firebathero, but I don't know about tanks. I think he's going to need Goliaths to defend this. So that base almost coming down here, but Bisu has ground army there, going to finish that off, going to trap those Goliaths. The ground army can just walk straight up there. That base going down for firebathero. So firebathero taking 1 base off Bisu, but it looks like he's got no army left, and he's going to lose this base here, as his troops just chill there at the front. Those tanks there, no way they're going to be able to shoot up into the air and shoot those things out of the air. Psystorm going down over the comsat station, so Bisu just going to be rude there as those 3 Goliaths come in. But to be honest, that carrier army just looks unstoppable at the moment. Both players are equal board position, but the army is just too big, and it looks like that base is finally going to... more tanks coming in to kill the goons, but those carriers should just... and there it is, GG. Bisu just having the massive carrier fleets, firebathero having no army there, and disappointing to see. I really wanted firebathero to win that game, to beat his rival, but unfortunately Bisu winning there. So firebathero losing to Deer, losing to Bisu. That's not what I want to see in my favourite player, but well played by Bisu. He did the Reaper harassment, he did the carriers, he expanded like a mad dog, and he wins the game.